Good morning, my lovelies, or at least it's morning here. This is going to be an impromptu tag video that the lovely Infinitely ASMR was kind enough to tag me in, and this is going to ask 11 questions, our nighttime questions, behaviors, and just little frilly things, details about various people. And then at the end, you get to tag other ASMR content creators. I'm looking at the window, and it is about 9 o'clock in the morning. A lot of people are leaving for work, and my road is somewhat busy, so I apologize if you're going to hear some traffic. But anyways, Infinitely ASMR had just made one of these videos with a couple of very interesting details about herself. And one of the things she did throughout the video that I really enjoyed was that she was holding up her phone and she did tapping on it. And that's something that I've kind of noticed working in IT. We work on a lot of different phones, and I've always loved that sound. I don't know. When they designed phones, I think that was something that they maybe didn't intentionally create, but I love that sound. Okay, so anyways, the questions. Do you prefer nighttime or daytime? I'm definitely a nighttime person. I'm not an early morning person. I woke up uncomfortably early today around 6:30 when my accountant, he texted me and he asked where my database was, because apparently for a partnership you have to file before March 15th and not April 15th, like I had thought. So I woke up and I'm very hyper right now because I have to go to work early and I have to reconcile all of our bookkeeping and file our taxes. Does anyone else procrastinate their taxes to the level that I do? So that kind of sucks. But I'm definitely a nighttime person. I am calmer at night. I think nighttime is also a time when everything is completed. The workday is done. The rest of the day is mine. It's for the activities that I choose and not necessarily work. I also prefer recording at night because we don't have the morning traffic as well. But that's life. What do you usually wear to sleep? Probably the same thing that I wear to work in the day, with the exception of my pants. I usually put on just fluffy, they're not fleece, they're like a fake microfiber sort of jammy pants is what I call them, but I normally wear really comfortable sweaters and stuff, so I don't really change my sweater, I just sleep in my sweaters, but I do put on jammy pants because they're super comfy. But that's about it. I don't have pajamas. Do you usually drink teas or herbal teas before going to bed? And if so, what is your favorite one? I usually don't drink a whole lot before I go to bed, just because I don't want to wake up and have to pee. But maybe like an hour or an hour and a half before I'll intend on going to sleep, I might have something like nighttime tea. And that's precisely what Infinitely ASMR drinks, is nighttime tea. It's got chamomile. I believe it might have some peppermint. It's caffeine free, but it is kind of a calming tea. What I will usually drink before I go to bed, though, is a vegan smoothie. I got a really nice blender for my birthday, and I will make celery, broccoli, a little bit of protein powder, and a fruit like an apple, so it's a little bit sweet, and soy yogurt. It's morning, everyone's going to work, but I'll have something that is healthier for me before I go to bed, because when I work throughout the day I don't usually have very many vegetables. I'm like a carb whore. I eat lots of donuts and stupid things, so towards the end of the day I try to shove in all my daily serving of vegetables. But that tends to help me sleep too, actually. Just a nice smoothie is what I normally drink before bed. My goodness, I couldn't have picked a busier morning to make this video. This is why I don't record in the morning. Okay, do you use candles to create a relaxing atmosphere? And if so, show us your favorite one. I do not. As much as I love the candles, I only use them pretty much as props. Partly because if I have them in my house and my cat jumps on the counter, I'm afraid my cat might catch on fire. But also, like infinitely ASMR, I think that my favorite aroma is something like clean linen or a soap or something that reminds me of just clean, not necessarily potpourri or flowers, but just clean laundry. How many pillows do you use? I have 2 pillows on my bed, and one of those elongated like body pillows, and it's kind of flat, so my neck really isn't inclined. And then the second pillow, it's one of those bean pillows. I can't remember what they're called. Really, really small beans inside the pillows. It's a really heavy pillow, and I actually put that over my face. So I don't know why. I think I just like the security of something heavy on my head. It works for me. So I put a bean pillow on my bean pillow. Sobakawa, that's what it's called. I think that's a bean. I'm not sure. 2 pillows. Do you have recurrent dreams, and do you remember them when you wake up? I really should have thought about these questions more before I started going through them, because like these random thoughts are popping in my head and I didn't rehearse this at all. Recurrent dreams. I imagine most people do. I think the most recurrent dream that I have is probably like being in a back seat of a car, but somebody else is driving and they're not in control of the car, or being alone in the back seat of the car and the car is moving and you're trying desperately to get to the driver's seat as it's careening out of control or speeding or something. And I also have a lot of dreams where my teeth are falling out or my fingernails are falling off. These are horrible things to talk about. But I have looked up. Kitty wants out. I have looked up what some of those dreams mean, and it's usually more of a frustration or anxiety that you don't have control over something, or that you're losing something and you don't have control to get that back. But those are the dreams that I have very frequently. I do sometimes have more pleasant dreams or more fun dreams. I dream a lot about this is too much information. I think I have a lot of dreams about sex. I'm just going to leave that at that. I think that's probably kind of normal as well. I think that they are reflections of ways that you interact with people, and just you have a buildup of emotions in a certain way, and your dreams reflect that sometimes. All right, so I'm just like, oh, it's awkward. What position do you sleep in? I usually start out sleeping on my back. I sleep on my back and then my hips start to bother me, so I will usually turn on my side, and then my hips will again start to bother me, so I will sleep kind of sitting up in a Indian style position, and then I'll tip over to one side. So I do sleep yoga. My husband jokes about that. Sometimes I'll just fall asleep Indian style and I'll just tip to one side or tip forward until my feet fall asleep, and then I'll wake back up and I'll switch positions. But I do sleep yoga. That's how I usually wake up, is Indian style. Weird. Do you read before sleeping? And if so, what have you been reading lately? I have pretty much stopped reading before bed. I have a difficult time seeing when I take my contacts out, and I don't like wearing my glasses in bed. I have tried using something on a tablet, but the illuminated screen makes it more difficult for me to fall asleep, so I really don't read that much anymore before I go to bed. I used to when my vision was better, but that was probably like in my 20s. But I don't read that much anymore. When I do read, it's usually just news or any kind of blog, vlog, something that I'm interested in. I don't really have the same amount of time that I used to when I used to be more of an avid reader, and as well as a writer, but pretty much just daily information. I don't have television, so that's how I get my daily brain food, I suppose. What do you sleep alone or with somebody? I sleep with my cats, but otherwise I'm alone. And some people find that odd that I don't sleep with my husband. And I don't know, for me it's normal. I sleep to sleep, and when I'm next to somebody, I'm either there to cuddle, or to watch TV, or to just spend quality time with each other. But I punch and kick and talk, and I am a very active sleeper, and it's not healthy for either of us to sleep in the same bed. We sleep in our beds to sleep, but I sleep with my cats. My cats don't argue that much. I don't punch or kick them though. They usually know the spots to avoid. What kind of ASMR videos do you watch before sleeping? I tend to go towards the videos that don't have very much talking when I'm getting ready for bed, or the personal attention types of videos. Nothing that's really loud or has a whole lot going on in it. I think when I'm trying to relax, I'm trying to focus on office work, or I'm trying to accomplish something while I'm awake, I'll listen to something that has a lot of dialogue, a lot of interaction. But when I'm trying to sleep, I'm looking for something that's more monotone, something that sometimes doesn't have any talking or very little talking, and slow noises. There's one ASMR creator, Sensoradi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he's a Polish creator, and some of the way that he talks is just very intentional, and it's somewhat monotone, but he's very deliberate in how he talks. And I think that the accent is also definitely a plus, or at least I really enjoy it. But something like that is what I'll typically listen to while I'm going to sleep. Nothing too engaging, or otherwise my mind actually stays active and I want to shut it down for the night. I feel like I might have missed some of these questions. Candles, pillows, recurrent dreams position, reading, alone, with somebody. What kind of ASMR videos do you listen to before sleeping? At what time do you usually go to bed? It depends for me on the last question here. Typically on a work night, I will try to go to bed by 10:30, 11 o'clock. My hours that I work are typically 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. So I don't have to wake up incredibly early, but work nights usually around 11, no later than 11:30. Otherwise I have problems being coherent at work. On weekends, it's probably pretty similar unless there's something like a LAN party going on. Just because I'm really grouchy if I don't sleep very well. And that's the last of the questions. So I'm going to jump back over here to my notes because I want to tag some people. I'm not sure if there was like a limit to the people that you have to tag, or you're aiming to tag, but the people I would like to tag that have had a great deal of influence on me in the last couple of months and years, or those I have been watching a lot lately, I would say Trigger the Tingles ASMR. I have been watching her videos for a couple of months, and her channel is really doing very, very well, but she has a lot of guests that she does massage Anna, but she also does a couple of role plays. She is this adorable, very bubbly and optimistic woman. So when you listen to her, you watch her, you feel very just fluffy, and it's a very positive atmosphere that she creates. So trigger the tingles ASMR. I'm going to include links in the description to all of these people here. You will very much like her if you don't already know who she is. Jellybean Green. JB has, she's very, very popular among the community. I suspect most people know of her channel, but she has a whole bunch of role plays, and I think that she has very similar content to what I usually aim for. Also, she hits all the right triggers for what usually I'm looking for: a lot of personal attention, very soft and deliberate speaking. And also how she goes, "Hey y'all," when she starts all of her videos. She's a very lovely girl. And if you like a lot of the themes in my videos, I think that you'd probably also like a lot of her themes as well. Someone that I'm starting to re-listen to, one of the first ASMR creators I think I ever ran into or started listening to, is The Water Whispers Ilsa. She used to be in, oh gosh, I don't even want to guess the country, but she speaks Dutch. I think that, yeah, I'm not really good with geography, so I'm not going to even guess this because I'll sound stupid. But she has a very nice accent, but she's always been such a gentle, very soft-spoken girl. And over the years, her channel has grown enormously, but she was probably one of the first people that ever introduced me to ASMR. And I find myself keep going back to a lot of her videos. I fell asleep to one of her touching tingles videos where there is no dialogue. It's just the role play, but minus the dialogue. It's just focused on the sounds. And she has a couple of different channels: The Water Whisper Ilsa, and also Touching Tingles is a very, very nice channel to listen to. One of the originals in my book. Darkest Star ASMR. You might have also known him from ASMR Noir. That used to be the name of his channel, but he's a very interesting character. He has a lot of role plays with different costumes and a lot of different roles that he takes on. Some of them are a bit more darker in theme, so if you're looking for something in that aspect, we did a collaboration a couple of months ago. I don't know if it was months ago, it might have been a year ago, where it was like a zombie apocalypse, zombie dissection video, and he's a very interesting character. He has a lot of very creative ideas, so I'm going to tag him on this because I want to know what his sleeping patterns are. Relax with Reena. I'm also going to tag, and her channel is something that I've been watching a lot lately. She does a lot of videos that are where she has a guest and she will be giving them a massage or a scalp inspection. And sometimes I like the roleplay videos, and then other times I like being more of an observer, and I like to watch other people get a massage or a scalp inspection. And she has a very, very nice, calm channel. Sometimes there's not that much dialogue. She also has some that are more like a mukbang roleplay, so she has a lot of variety to her channel as well. But she has some very good content. And last but not least, I can't do a tag video without tagging my girl, Crinkle Luvin, Rachel. Rachel has also, my gosh, some of her videos have gotten insanely creative, where she has makeup and props and prosthetics and just really, really creative and good makeup techniques. Her videos are very science fiction-y, and she's just an awesome sci-fi nerd, and she does a lot of role plays for things like Firefly. So if you have an interest in that, I think that you'll enjoy her channel. Most of you probably already know who she is, but Rachel is the last person I'm going to tag in this video. So if you have not heard of those channels, or if you would like to experience some very good, underrated channels, in my opinion, those are the people I would pick to give a listen to. let me see. I realized that my camera just timed out here. One last thing that I wanted to add to the end of this video, not to bore too many people, but I really appreciate all the love and every comment that was made on my last video. I have not uploaded in a while due to some complications in life, and some people have messaged me with concerns, so I just wanted to offer a little bit of information on that. I didn't want to leave you hanging. I'm scheduled to have an outpatient surgery in about 3.5 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. It depends on when the insurance approves it, but I will be having tubal ligation surgery. I'm going to have my tubes tied. I turned 33 a couple of weeks ago, and everyone around us, and it's not just everyone's influence around me, but my husband and I, we have debated whether or not we're going to try for children. And now that we're in our mid-30s, we're thinking that if we're going to have children, that soon would be probably good. And over the last couple of months, we have gone in for some general testing and concerned about our health, whether or not I'm able to carry a child, or if just stuff. But we found out that I am a carrier for hemophilia. It's not a surprise. All of the men on my mom's side of the family are hemophiliacs. It's when your blood does not have the ability to clot. It's not necessarily a death sentence, especially in this day and age. I mean, we have medical intervention. Too much information. But we have a lot of things in our genetics that we have decided that we are not going to have children. And I'm not really that sad about it. I've never personally felt like I wanted to be a mother. I mean, there are women and girls out there that cannot wait until they get married so they can start having children, and that's like their life thing. They want to have children. And I've been waiting for that to hit for the longest time. My mom has always been like, here, hold this baby, because once you hold this baby, you're going to want babies. And it's just never clicked for me. And that's not necessarily a bad thing for some people. They're like, oh, that's sad, but I don't really feel that way. And rewinding, I had been on hormonal birth control for about 7 or 8 years, and last year I had gone off of it in June, and I feel like a different person. I didn't realize it until after I had been off of it for several months, but I do not do very well on hormonal birth control. I've tried a UID, and that did not go very well, and it had to be removed, but we wanted something that's going to be more permanent, and that's the procedure that I will be undergoing. So not necessarily a bad thing, but it's a very common procedure. There's very little risk involved to it. Also in the exam, I found out that my uterus is about the fourth the size of a normal uterus. That's a thing. So I probably would not be able to safely carry a child with our health concerns, especially if it was a male. A baby boy, a son, would be very, almost certainly hemophiliac, and that would be very difficult. So cutting the tubes, and that'll be that. So that's the history behind that. I didn't mean to scare anybody. Just preparing for it and then finding out the health results and things like that. There was a lot of debate and consideration that had to go into it. But it's not something that either of us are really ready to deal with, and I don't think that we're ever going to be ready. So that's that. Too much information. Sorry. But thank you guys for being part of this, and I will see you hopefully in a couple of days. I'll have another video. I'm gearing up. I'm motivated. So